Have you ever just felt off, like your mind is tuned to a completely different station than everyone else around you? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. And that feeling, it might not be a flaw. It might actually be a sign of something incredible. You know the words. Maybe nobody said them out loud, but you felt them, right? That sense that you are, on some fundamental level, just too much for the people around you.
Or, hey, maybe it was the total opposite, that you were too quiet, too reserved, like you were some kind of complicated puzzle that no one had the time to figure out. Yeah, and this one, too, in your head, as if your own thoughts were some kind of distraction from what's real. You heard these things over and over, and a little piece of you started to wonder if maybe they were right. But I want you to just pause and ask yourself, what if all of that was wrong? What if every single thing you were told was a flaw was actually a blueprint for something rare and powerful? What if your mind isn't broken but just built differently?
So first, let's just tackle that feeling of being too much head on. It's this deep, weird kind of loneliness, isn't it? It's not about being by yourself. You can feel it most intensely when you're in a room packed with people.
And here's why. It's because your mind is processing the world with the settings turned all the way up. But when no one else sees what you see or feels what you feel, they just call you weird. They tell you you're overthinking it. And so, bit by bit, you learn to hide the most interesting parts of yourself just to blend in. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. These traits you have, they're not random quirks. Oh no, they actually form a pattern that we've seen again and again throughout history in some of the most brilliant minds to ever live.
I mean, just look at this list. Einstein couldn't stay focused in a boring classroom. Darwin was called a daydreamer. These weren't just little habits. These were the exact conditions their minds needed to do incredible work. The very things they got criticized for were actually the source of their genius. Sound familiar at all?
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. We're about to walk through 7 signs, 7 things you might have been told were your flaws, and we're going to reframe them. It's time to see your inner world for what it really is.
First up, that constant voice in your head. You know, the one that's always running, rehearsing conversations, replaying arguments. It never stops. Now, some people might call that anxiety, but a psychologist named Charles Fernyhough has a better term for it: inner speech. It's literally your brain's way of processing the world on a much, much deeper level. You're not anxious, you're just thorough. Sign number 2, you notice everything. That tiny shift in someone's tone of voice, the way the light hits a room just so, things nobody else seems to catch. They call it overthinking. The real term is high perceptual sensitivity. Your brain is just wired to pick up on way more detail. That's not a flaw, that is a superpower.
The third sign is that you desperately need time alone. And it's not because you're antisocial. It's because all the noise, the small talk, the constant interaction, it completely drains your battery. Research actually shows that some of the most intelligent people get the most satisfaction when they're on their own. Solitude isn't your hiding place, it's where you recharge. All right, sign number 4, emotions. You feel everything so deeply. A piece of music or a story can literally make your chest ache. Well, research by Elaine Aron on highly sensitive people shows this isn't a weakness at all. This deep emotional processing is actually linked to higher brain function. Your feelings are a form of data, giving you information most people completely miss. And that brings us to sign number 5. When a topic grabs you, you can't just dip your toe in. You have to go all in, right? You dive deep. People might call you obsessive or intense, but what's really happening is a state of deep focus. It's a core trait of divergent thinkers, and it's the only way anything truly extraordinary ever gets created.
Sign number 6, you just have to know why. It probably drives other people nuts. While they're ready to move on, you're still stuck on the fundamental question. But why is it like that? This isn't you being difficult. That relentless curiosity is incredibly rare, and it's the engine that has fueled every single major breakthrough in human history. And finally, sign 7. You spend a lot of time living inside your own head. You could be sitting in a room, totally still, but your mind is off building worlds, solving problems, connecting ideas. They might think you're distracted or not paying attention, but you're not absent. You are actively creating.
So you put all that together, all 7 of those signs, what does it all mean? Well, it means we need to have a serious talk about what it means to be weird. Because here's the real difference. It was never about them being normal and you being strange. It was about them being comfortable. And you were awake. And honestly, being fully awake can be absolutely terrifying to people who would rather stay asleep.
So please, hear this. Your intensity, your sensitivity, your deep thinking, your weirdness, it was never, ever a problem that you needed to fix. It was a signal, a sign that your mind was built for more than just fitting in.
So the next time you start to feel like you're too much of anything, I want you to remember this. Don't you dare apologize for it. Don't make yourself smaller to make someone else feel comfortable. Because being normal, that was never, ever your destiny. You were always meant to be the one who sees the world differently. And in a world that is starving for new ways of thinking, for deeper understanding, it doesn't need any more people who know how to fit in. It needs you. It needs people who are brave enough to stay weird,